The Big H Podcast, tune in now. Conversations that'll wow. Laugh and learn, stay a while. Let's explore that Hilton style. From the highs to the lows, every story just explodes. Mike's got questions on the go, diving deep from head to toe. Every week the guests align, sharing moments so divine. Stay with us, the pace is fine. Every episode you'll find. The Big H Podcast, tune in now. Conversations that'll wow. Laugh and learn, stay a while. Let's explore that Hilton style.
Jeff Sorensen, welcome to the Big H Podcast.
Thank you, Mike. Looking forward to it.
Graduate of Hilton in 1988, and most recently, you're an inductee into the Hilton Alumni Hall of Fame last year in 2025. And it's really a pleasure to have you on because your accomplishments in high school and then college have also led to quite the accomplishments in your career and then some.
I appreciate it, Mike. It's great to be here. Look forward to catching up.
All right. Tell me a little bit about what you've been doing in your job right now.
You got it. So it's interesting. I joined Price Waterhouse Coopers. It was Price Waterhouse back then in 1992, right out of undergrad. And in Rochester, New York, almost immediately I spent a year and a half out in California on a big project. And I don't think I've stopped moving since. So we were in Rochester for about, I think it was 7 years after that, 6 years after that. And then they said, hey, if you want to make partner, you want to get to that next level, New York. And so that's what we did. We packed up, and at that point we had one kid, and then pregnant with the second one, went to New York. We were there for, 4 years, 5 years. Is that right? Yeah, just about 5 years. And then we were asked to move to Tokyo, Japan. We were there for about 2.5 years. Came back, and then we thought we'd stay in New York, or I should say in Connecticut. We thought we'd stay there, and then they said, we want you to go back and go work on Eastman Kodak, and that's a whole story. But had the pleasure coming back, working on Kodak, living in Rochester, and then a couple years after that, I told my wife, I said, Ginger, we're moving to Pittsburgh, and at that point, she finally said, you can move to Pittsburgh. We're staying here, and that's what she did, and she got the kids through school, and I went to Pittsburgh for about 5 years, and never guessed it, but we went back to Connecticut, and again, so I had to get my kids through high school, and just this last 2 years, we got our youngest through high school, and now Ginger's moved with me to technically Connecticut, but you wouldn't know it because we still have a house here in Lake Ontario. We love it. That's our passion, and we're back as much as we can be, and Ginger's here the whole summer, and it's really, really nice. As far as work goes, I'm a partner at Price Waterhouse Coopers on the IBM account. So it's an account that I kind of cut my teeth on when I moved to New York. Never thought I'd be the lead partner, and here I am. And it's great to be with a very successful and account and company, one of our biggest accounts. So it's been a pretty crazy time, big whirlwind.
Now, off camera, you were talking. You're at the point where you starting to consider maybe time to hang up the pen and pencil.
You got it. So it's interesting in this profession, in a partnership. I think all the big four accounting firms are the same way. You get to 60, they kick you out. Mm-hmm. And so at 55 right now, you're starting to think about what's that last client, and does it work? Because they want you for 5 years on a client, and if you can't do 5 years, it's not beneficial to them. And so I'll finish up IBM. I got 3 years left. I'll be 57, and it's kind of that weird stub period. So we're looking at life after Price Waterhouse Coopers for sure.
Will you stay around the area, or are you going to move down south?
Great question. Look at Mike. We grew up in these Hilton and Rochester winters.
Four seasons.
We're going to always keep the lake house here in Hilton. That's again our passion. That's what we love. We kind of really put our heart and soul into that place, and we'll keep that forever. Hopefully give it to the kids if they want it, and then we'll probably spend another 6 months and 1 day in Florida. So
What do you mean the one day? What do you mean?
Well,
Is that just a little bit longer down south?
well, for tax reasons, Mike, you,
Okay. Oh.
you get 6 months in a day, and you get taxed as a Florida resident. And it might come as a surprise to your viewers that Florida has a lower tax rate
No, I know that.
than New York State.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what we're thinking.
Obviously, in ahead.
Yeah. So
Very money.
that's the accounting in
conscious.
me. That's the accountant in me. So
Now, I wasn't aware of California, New York, Tokyo, Connecticut, Rochester. You went to Pittsburgh on your own, Connecticut, and then
Yeah.
here. What was it like for you transitioning with the family,
Sure.
and then once you had children, transferring them all to the different places?
great question. And I say it now to my some of my younger partners. I said to my staff who were asking them to move. For the PwC, the Price Waterhouse Cooper employee, it's easy. You go into an office, you work with great people, smart people, great clients. That's easy. That's like maybe a 2-day transition.
Mm-hmm.
The kids, far more resilient than you really think they are.
Mm-hmm.
They hit it running. That they might need a week or two. I think it's the trailing spouse that has it the hardest. They're the ones trying to get the kids into school. They're the ones trying to get the doctors, the dentists, the optometrists, and fill it in. And when those kids get shuffled off to school, they're trying to figure out what's their daily life going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's tougher for them. For me, pretty easy. And the kids, I think they look back now, and especially the two oldest, they loved Tokyo. Great memories. They really enjoyed Connecticut. My youngest, his was a little bit more stable. My wife will probably get mad at me because I don't remember. I think he started 1 year. I think he started in New York, in Rochester, in kindergarten. But his first 3-4 years were in Connecticut. So he remembers Connecticut. So
Going back to family, tell me a little bit about you and Ginger, where you met,
yeah,
and how that relationship butted into a
yeah.
phenomenal family.
So it was trying to get the exact year. I guess technically it was when I was a sophomore and she was a freshman, and in high school, Hilton High School. And of course, I was playing the trombone. She was playing the saxophone, and saw her at band. And you know what? It might have been even middle school. Yeah, I think it might have been middle school, 8th and 7th grade, where we met. But we didn't start dating until I was a senior and she was a junior.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, back in those days, cheerleaders would cheer for the soccer team just like they would the football team.
Mm-hmm.
So I played soccer. She was a cheerleader. And we started dating in 1987. And as she would say, we've had a couple of breaks,
Mm-hmm.
but since 87, and got married in 95. I paused too long right there, by the way.
No, you didn't. You're pretty good, actually, with
Okay.
all the dates and everything. Tell me a little bit about your kids.
Okay, yeah, they're pretty slick. So my oldest is a lawyer in Manhattan. Always wanted to be in like sort of the public defender sort of space, and so when he was an undergrad, he was at NYU, and it's a funny story. So I'll back up just a little bit and digress as to how
Sure.
we got into this. I was on the board at SUNY Oswego, and one of my board members was in New York City, and he was working for the prisoner rights group in Manhattan. And I said, "Hey, you ever take internships?" And he's like, "We're starting to think about taking an undergrad internship, but we don't have them." So long story short, my son, who wasn't a big, I don't know. I don't know if he necessarily appreciated the introduction, but we gave him the introduction. And long story short, I talked to him maybe 3 months later. I said, "So what are you up to today, Jack?" And he says, "Well, I'm starting my internship at the Prisoner Rights Group." So from just an introduction, he started there, fell in love with really helping out folks that really need help and representation. And he went to NYU undergrad, law school in Manhattan, Cordoza, and then right into public defender in Manhattan. So
Really?
he's loving it.
Because I always thought like a lot of they prosecute, then they go into the public defenders. But
Yeah,
and so he's still in New York?
he's still in New York. And I misspoke. He started in the Bronx, then he went to Manhattan. So now he's in Manhattan Public Defenders Group. He wanted to be in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be in the courtroom. So almost immediately he's in the courtroom doing what he loves.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's off and running, and he's down there. And we live in Connecticut, so it's maybe an hour from the city. So he's off and running there. My daughter, she is
What's her
second
name?
year. Olivia. She's a second year associate with our firm. So we like to recruit folks that know what they're getting into. She knew what she was getting into. I never thought she'd do it. I really did. Like when I was living in Connecticut, and the family was in Rochester. She went to Syracuse. I would drive through New York State Thruway there, and I'd stop at Syracuse. Maybe it's Route 17 or 81. That's it. And I'd stop and say, "Hey, I'm coming through in 15 minutes. You got time for coffee?" And so one February, sophomore year, I stop. We have coffee. She goes, "Dad, I got to declare my major tomorrow." I said, "Okay, what's it going to be?" She goes, "Accounting." I'm like, "Where did that come from?" Like didn't expect it. So, anyways, she did it, and here we are. She's also in Manhattan at Price Waterhouse Coopers. Just second year, doing a great job. Really enjoying it. It's a great place to start. So, if any of your viewers, listeners, are into accounting, they call me. Like we need some really smart kids in accounting. So, and it's a great place to start. It's a great place to learn.
Well, you've been there your whole career, pretty much.
I have, probably the exception. Just I think I started with 25 people in the Rochester area. I think we're down to 2. Which is normal, typical attrition. But it's a great place to learn, great place to start. They throw you right in the deep end, and you're swimming. So she's there, and then my youngest son is going to be a junior at Geneseo, studying to be an elementary teacher, and playing soccer there, loving it. And when he's not in school and on the soccer field, you can find him golfing somewhere. So
Big golfer.
he loves it.
Well, I'm an elementary teacher, and what I can say is schools thrive upon male teachers at the elementary
I'm
level.
hoping.
Because there isn't very many of them.
That's what I understand.
So,
Yeah.
good for him. Geneseo is also a good school. We talked about this off air. Both your brother and myself went there. Very good school for lots of things. Tell me a little bit about your mom and dad,
Sure.
and your siblings.
Yeah. So Rochester, I should say Hilton, almost my entire life. Maybe 1 year in the 19th ward, but I only remember Hilton, and we just loved it growing up. My oldest brother was, I guess, 4 years older than me. Then my next, that was Drew. Then my next brother was Mike. He went to Mooney, and then my next brother, who was about 12 months and 2 weeks older than me, he went to Hilton, and he's now still in the Hilton School District. So
Vice principal, right?
You got it, middle school. Really proud of him as well. And aside from my oldest brothers down in North Carolina, everyone's here in Rochester, which is really, really nice. And, my dad, I think he coached me in every single sport, including soccer, that he never played once. So he was like that dad, like always volunteering, which I loved. And then my mom, boy, she was sort of a strict disciplinarian. I think she's got a little bit of a positive reputation, but she was always teaching, and I think she taught all over Rochester from all the different schools, whether St. John's and Spencerport, like everywhere. So St. Lawrence here in Greece. So she was a teacher. So
your parents are great people, and I ran across Betty a lot. And God rest her soul. In education, and she would do a lot of subbing in our building. And the nice thing about her was, like, she would literally say, "Just give me a roster of the kids, and I'll take it from there." And and she could just do it off the top of her head. And she was just very, very strong in the discipline and just the command of the classroom.
Oh yeah, I remember being a young kid, and she'd bring me in on those off days. I'd watch her teach, and boy, she scared me. And but what's really nice, and I'm sure you get it as well, is the kids that were students 30, 40 years ago, and they're coming up to you. "Is your mom Betty Sorensen?" I'm like, yeah. I had her in second grade. I'm like, she's my favorite teacher. Boy, she was tough, but I loved her. And it's like, you know what? That makes you feel good.
Yeah, kids crave that structure and that discipline. Right. And she also, throughout that, she got the best out of the kids too.
I think you're right. Right.
Pete, I remember being in 5th and 6th grade. I don't know, like when Steve was with us, and I think we went to camp. That was I think at the end. And your dad would run something. And later on, when this year, he said one of the nicest things to me. He goes, "I ran into your son Michael, and we just had the nicest conversation. You've done a very nice job," and that really meant a lot from your dad.
That's my dad. He's very observant, and they don't get much nicer. They really don't. He's a good man.
He is a good man, and
Yeah.
you know, knowing all you four guys, Drew, I didn't know that much, but
Yep.
of course I knew Mike being
Yeah.
a year ahead of me, and Steve being the same grade than you. Um, you talked about basically being in Hilton your whole life, except for that few months in 19th Ward or whatever. What do you think Hilton provided you then, and what do you think it might provide now, even though you've been to California, Connecticut, Tokyo?
Yeah. It's unique. That's what I would say. I'd start with it's unique. Um, wherever I travel, and you get our new friends, and the net gets cast wider, and you tell them your best friends are from high school.
Mm-hmm.
Almost everyone looks at you like you have three heads. Like, what do you mean you're still best friends with your buddies from high school? It's a concept that I think we take for granted being here in Hilton
Mm-hmm.
and in this community. That it's very tight knit, and you're good friends despite maybe where you go, or maybe you don't go. Maybe you stay local, but Hilton's just a very unique place like that. And I could. There's so many different examples from the teams that you played on. My experience was we were friends first, and then competitors, and I think that made us a better team. It made us better friends, and it hasn't diminished.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why Hilton is like really unique that way.
Tell me a little bit about your high school days and cementing of those friendships in high school, those teammates of yours, and maybe a little bit of how you guys have stayed in touch since then.
Yeah, and it goes back, Mike, even before high school. Like we were all good friends, like some of them elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
all the way through. So when we got to high school and the sports, like we just knew what we were doing. Especially the fall, it was soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'd go into basketball, and then a couple of us picked up tennis just because we had nothing else to do. We said, let's try playing some tennis, and that's just what we did. And I don't think any of us took it too seriously
Mm-hmm.
until we had to,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just a great experience doing it with friends. Because as I said, beyond Hilton, at least my experience, whether it was college or club or even beyond that, it was maybe competition first, and then friends, then team, and that was never the case in Hilton. It was always friends first, which I think made for a better experience.
Well, it's funny. First of all, you brought up tennis as kind of like your third sport. And I remember talking to Tom Dowd,
Yep.
and he's like, "You give an athlete a tennis racket, and they'll be playing good tennis in 2 weeks."
Yes.
One of your pride and joy moments was your state championship team in 1987. Talk to me a little bit about that group of guys and maybe your coach and just what it was like going through that season in that sectional state run.
It was interesting, Mike, because like in a lot of ways it came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So our junior year, good, not great. It was good. We had some good players for sure. But then senior year, I remember running in like preseason and like just joking around, like we're gonna be Section 5 champs. We're gonna, and I don't think we really believed it, but that's what we said, and we had so much fun. But when a bunch of guys come together with, again, I keep going back to that friendship, like it made it a lot of fun. So preseason, like every night, 6:00, we'd up be at the high school. There'd be 20 of us playing, And by the way, we had kids from like modified and JV and all the way to the varsity up there playing with us and practicing, and it was it's what we did. Like none of us were playing like on our iPads or on video games. That's what we did.
Right.
We played soccer, and then when the fall season came, it all clicked. Now look, it didn't hurt that 9 of the soccer players, I think, flipped over to basketball, so we were very, very tall, and it didn't hurt that they were multi-sport athletes, and so having that height, having that athleticism, and that friendship was just. We woke up mid-season like, man, we could do something, and it worked out great.
What was it like, the sectional final and then states? Tell me a little bit about those games, if you remember.
Yeah, I'll never forget them. Nervousness going into sectionals, because keep in mind, I think at that point, no boys team had won in any sport won a Section 5 tournament. No one had a patch, and so there was a level of stress going into that game. but like we were naive a little bit. Like none of us had experienced going that far or that deep or had the expectations. And if I back up just a little bit, McQuaid was the team to beat. And I'll never forget coming on my SATs, and we got no internet, right? And I'm coming out, and we're all collecting on this Saturday morning, and everyone's like, "Did you hear McQuaid lost last night?" And I remember, I think it was Dusty Groutman, who I looked to. I said, "Holy, I think we can win this thing. Like McQuaid's gone, I think we can win."
Right.
And so that level of nervousness going into the sectional finals, and then when we won, like, we just exhaled. That was it. Everything else was icing on the cake because no one thought about like states. Then we won the regional. And it's like, wait a minute, we're one game away from going to the states, the state finals. And so, and then we that semifinal game, we just destroyed this team that was supposed to be unbeatable. And here you are going to Long Island playing against a powerhouse, and thankfully we just clicked that day and we got out of there. I think we play them 10 times. I'd like to think we win 5. I might be pushing my luck. They were really good.
Yeah.
We were athletes and we had the size.
Yeah.
They were soccer players. So
I never realized they had tremendous size. I mean, it was you, Troy, probably Tim Ash was decent size.
Tim Ash, Chris Fay was good height. Brian Ash was not small.
You had Brinkle and goal, right?
Brinkle was phenomenal. We had the best defense in the state, without question. That was how we won. We had Tim Ash up top, Mike Gibbs up top. Those guys could score goals left and right, but we had the best defense.
Corey Nee
was phenomenal. It's funny when you're living it. Corey was a basketball player.
Right.
Corey was a baseball player.
Right.
You go back like 2, 3, 4, 25 years later. You look at the tape, like he was our best player. Like he never played in college. He never played club soccer. Right. I think Corey played soccer for 8 weeks a year.
Right.
Fall soccer.
Right.
And he was that good. He was a special athlete. We had plenty of height, and then all we would do is, whether it was a corner kick, a kick from midfield, just hit the ball as high as you can, and whether Gibbs, Tim, myself, just let some tall guys get their heads on it, and that's what we did, and that's how we won like a lot of games. Head balls.
Tell me about Bud Rose. What was he like?
Oh boy, he was great. He was so good.
He's a chill out guy, isn't he? Or was he?
I don't know. He benched me, I think, Mike, my junior year for getting in trouble. I was a little,
was it a mouth?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, Mike. Maybe a little bit. I probably deserved every single benching I got my junior year. Senior year, I think he knew what he had. He went. He didn't go too deep on that team. We played like today's day and age. They're going 18, 19, 20 deep. I think we probably went 13, 14 deep. That was it. And so he asked a lot of his starters, but we had a formation and we had a style that we played to a T that, Coach Rose had us playing. And, he said the right things at the right time. I'll never forget, we were going to state finals and we were nervous. And he told us a story, and I'll see if I get it directionally correct, where he was talking to a Section 5 coach. And what the coach said to Bud and what Bud relayed to us is like, listen, guys, don't play not to lose, play to win. And it was like it resonated because so many teams will go out there, they'll play either scared, they'll play in their shell, they'll sit back. I don't know if you watched the Netherlands last night in the World Cup game, but they're the dominant team, but they just went into a shell.
And they lost.
And they lost.
Penalty kicks?
They lost in penalty kicks to an inferior team. Now look, the other team was good, but they shouldn't have lost. And they played not to lose. And that's not the way to go into a big game. And that was what Bud taught us, and I think it resonated. And here's this team. I tell people this again. I might be wrong, but I keep telling the story. Where back then it was like Class AA. That was the largest class, and the cutoff was 300 students, and we were 307 that year. We were one of the smallest large school teams that year across New York State. We were playing against teams with 600, 700, 800 kids in a graduating class, and the lightning struck. It was good.
Yeah, just what I remember over that, the group of seniors, especially in those juniors, you guys just had a level of confidence, but it wasn't like arrogance or cocky. Well, maybe a little cocky. Like when you went out on a field, like you knew what you had to do.
I think so. I think also too, we got punched in the mouth a couple of times that season. Like
Troy mentioned that in his podcast.
Yeah, we did. We had we weren't the best team in Rochester. We played Arcadia. I think we lost Arcadia twice, Okay, and that's when they had soccer players like Mike Bianchi,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
remember that name. He was just legendary. Like he's generational, and he was just one of 5 that were that good on that team. So they beat us twice. McQuaid beat us really good, and then we lost to Athena. We shouldn't have. And by the way, we should have beat Arcadia at least one time. So we weren't going in like we were untouchable.
Right.
We were going in, like as I said, we won that sectional final. Okay, like it's over. We're done. We never thought states.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Never. So I wouldn't say we were like, I think naive more than anything. Does that make sense?
It does, and it probably is helpful because
Yeah.
you've never been there before, so you really
Yeah.
there's really no pressure on you. It's like
In a lot of ways, once you won sectionals, you're like, okay, everything else is great. And getting thumped by McQuaid kept us in check, I think. It really did.
now going back to you can either talk about elementary school teachers or high school, middle and high school. Talk to me a little bit about some of those teachers that
Oh,
influenced you and made an effect on you.
I had some great teachers. Mike Davids, you probably get that a ton. I'll never forget having him. I want to say it was my junior year, and he started instilling a level of fear in me when he would talk, or to the students, when he talk about what you could expect when you go to college, and you're getting certain types of students and certain types of professors, and you better be on your A game. And I will tell you, Mike, I was probably a solid 84 average kind of student, more focused on sports and having fun. But he's the one who taught me how to really study for perfection, study for like really knowing it, and only stop studying once you do really know it. And that was a different style. And like I carried it through my senior year. I had him again, and he was great. He met with me. My mom, as a teacher, she after a couple of maybe a semester or so of below average grades, she would drop me off at the school. There would be 3 people there. I think it was the custodian, Mike Davids, and myself. And I kid you not, like it was like just after 6 a.m. And I would be in, with Mike Davids, and he'd be helping me out, teaching me, and might not have been every day, but I was there every day.
Right.
So, but he was great. Jack Frawley, when I was like 2nd and 3rd grade, what a great! You talk about the male influence, and like boy, I needed him. And I was lucky; I had him 2 years in a row. So he was another great one, and so many, and it takes a while to really understand just what they did and just how impactful they were, and they were great. They were great teachers.
And so you graduate from high school. Did you know right away you wanted to go into accounting? And
No.
then talk to me about your Oswego days.
So Oswego wasn't my first choice. It was Geneseo.
You didn't get in?
Okay, I'll tell you a funny story. So the soccer coach was Mike.
I know exactly.
It's good I don't remember.
He
his
has a
name.
mustache.
Yeah. So anyways, he's a soccer coach.
Right.
We just won states, right? Now maybe I'm a little cocky, right? Because now we're the best team in New York State. So my parents and I, we have a meeting. We go see coach, and that's where I wanted to go. My older brother went there, and we sit down with him, and he says to me, he goes, "Listen, you're not getting in with your grades, and I've got 3 what they called special talents. So the teams would have like free passes to get in, but you had to have like respectable grades, and I had respectable grades, just not good enough to get in on my own. He goes, I got 3 special talents, and you're number 8, and I'm like, okay.
Oh,
So I'm like, all right. So I never forgot that. Ended up going to Oswego and just loved it. And I was a late bloomer in soccer, and in life as well, and studying in school and grades and all that good stuff. I didn't really click till I got to college. And I had a really fine college career, 4-year starter, which was great, coming out of the state championship. And I had a good time against Geneseo. Had some good games, some fun times. I won't say I got even, but I got even a little bit. But loved Oswego. And it was a perfect size school. Had a great accounting program. Didn't think I was going to go into accounting. I started with computer science, and after 2 years of sitting in these dark labs for 20 hours a week with kids that I remember them just wearing these big black trench coats and the big boots, and I'm like, this is not for me.
Right.
Like, I'm in the wrong department.
Right.
But I like math. And so I said, you know what? Let's give accounting a try. And it clicked. It was great. So I switched after my sophomore year. So,
Any college professors that drove you in?
yeah, I had one. Chuck Spector. Still friends with him today.
Yeah.
And he was my accounting professor. And he was one that, not like Mike Davis. Like,
Mhm.
he'd lean in and he had no problem telling me, like, you know, you need to do this and stop doing that. And he did that quite a bit. Didn't hurt that he was a big he was a fan of the soccer team.
Mhm.
So he was funny. Like, I would miss class, and then he would come to soccer practice to see if I was practicing. And thankfully, I was not practicing. The one time he did come and check on me. But he was just a great guy, inspirational as can be. And as I said, we still connected to this day.
You talked about you became a late bloomer in college. Describe to me what you mean by that.
Oh, shoot! I was 5'6", 110 pounds my sophomore year in high school, point guard for the high school team, the JV team. I graduated 6'4".
Mhm.
So from my sophomore year to graduating, I couldn't tell you. I was like a newborn giraffe.
Mhm.
Like my knees consistently hurt. I had a stress fracture in my foot. I'm convinced from just growing. My junior year, which took me out for a good chunk of my junior season, everything just hurt. And so then I graduated 6'4". I'm 6'6" now. It just took me a while to grow into my body. And I'll go back to Mike Davis on the academic side of it. I hate to say it, but maybe skating. And he's the one who said, if you want to be successful, you better like change your ways. And I wish he would have done that my freshman year in high school, but he got me my junior year. And so that was very helpful going into to college. And where I went to college, and my goal was to pretty much get like as high grades as I can. My parents had a deal. I love this deal, which was you get over 3.6, they'll pay for pretty much everything.
Mhm.
Okay, room, board, tuition. I think 3.4 was another cutoff, and maybe they only pay for room and board or something like that. You had to pay for, and then if you got below a 3.0, you're on your own.
Mhm.
And so, thankfully, I got like 3.6s and higher. So it was my sort of motivation to have mom and dad chip in and help pay for things. So,
Sure.
so that was another motivating factor, and that was just another example of. It took me a little bit longer to mature.
Any other unexpected challenges you took along the way?
Um, Unexpected challenges, we all have them, right, Mike? I think just the like from a professional perspective, the relocations, and even the personal side, the relocation. I remember the first time we moved, we were here over in North Greece, Hilton schools. Kids weren't in school yet, but we were there, and our first house, and telling the family and friends, "Hey, we're
Mhm.
moving to Connecticut." And they're like, "What are you doing? You're crazy. Why would why would you do that? And, what for?" And so it was a bit of a leap of faith. And so I think that was a level of change that, you know, I'd be lying if I didn't say I don't say second guess, but we certainly paused on the decision.
Mhm.
And then, same thing from Connecticut to Tokyo. And that was a funny story where my senior partner says to me, "You get a choice. You can either go to London or you can go to Tokyo." And I said, "I'll go to Tokyo." He goes, "No, you got to go home and talk to your wife." I said, "We'll go to Tokyo." And so he goes, "Go home and talk to your wife." So I come back the next day, and I said, "We're going to Tokyo." He goes, "You talked to your wife?" I said, "Of course I did." So I didn't tell her we had London as an option. What I said, I said I said we're going to Tokyo, and it was a funny thing where the first time I got asked to relocate, and it was the same process that we'd go through. I'd come home from work that day, we'd have dinner, we'd get done with dinner, I'd look at her, I'd say, "Do you love me?" And she goes, "Well," the first time she's like, "Well, of course I do." I said, "Okay, we're moving to Connecticut." And so then she, you can expect what happened.
Right.
Then we're in Connecticut, and I come home that night, and I said, have dinner, really nice. Do you love me? And she goes, "Yes." And then it wasn't so it was a little more forceful. And I said, "Good, we're moving to Tokyo." And then the third time, and then by the third or fourth time, I said, "Do you love me?" She's like, "Where are we moving next? Where
Well,
are
at
we
least she
going?"
didn't say no.
Yeah, so that could have been worse.
You know?
I guess you're right. So yeah, I think those are probably the biggest challenges because it's disruptive, and it takes a little bit for the kids. It takes a little, like we talked about. It takes a little bit to settle back in. I think those are probably some of the bigger challenges on the professional side. Personal side, I think my wife Ginger, and she had a pretty good automobile accident. Her right after she graduated from college in '93, and so that created some growing up and maturing and a lot of different things. And so that's she's a trooper. She's great, and you go back to that. The award that I got, last year, the Alumni Award. One of the great things that came out of that, Mike, was Ginger and I were reflecting about just how fortunate we've been, and we've been exceptionally fortunate, and a little guilt about not giving back as much. And so it was a great opportunity for us, along with some of Ginger's really good friends that were good friends with a girl that unfortunately didn't make it through the car accident, Carrie Gerslin, and those girls all put together a nice scholarship for her, and we had our first recipient this past spring. It was wonderful. It was great, and so it was just a little silver lining. On the award, it was more than a silver lining. It was just a great opportunity to get back. Yeah.
Very nice. When you found out that you were going to be inducted into the Alumni Hall of Fame, what was that feeling like? Who told you?
Okay, the superintendent did. Casey called me. Okay, can I tell you what I thought? I thought to myself, the Sports Hall of Fame?
That's what I was wondering,
I thought that it meant, at first I'm like, but my high school career was not that good. I was on a great team? Yeah, I was on a great team. I still think I was the only kid that got cut from varsity basketball twice in 2 years, but then started 15 games. So which is a whole other story. So after about 10 seconds, I'm thinking, oh, it's not the Sports Hall of Fame. This makes more sense. Not that I was very humbled by the entire thing. But that was my initial reaction. But then, Mike, when you look at the other candidates and recipients of the award, it is absolutely humbling. And I do challenge whether I should have been recognized, but I certainly appreciate it. It was a great day, a great honor, and I had some folks that their contributions to the community are second to none.
Military, they get a
military, fire. It was just fantastic. So it was great. Great honor.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about the scholarship that's Oswego. There's one there as well. Yep.
So that was another one. Let's just say their alumni committee is a little more aggressive, Mike. So they got Ginger and I, because Ginger went to Oswego as well. So she graduated in '93. I graduated in '92. And I think we started it 15 years ago. And we just keep adding a little bit to it every once in a while. And we're up to almost a full scholarship, which is really, really nice.
Sure.
And it's our way. How do I say this? So a lot of these colleges, a lot of these universities, Mike, they got a lot of money and they have a lot of expenses. And sometimes we say, is that the best use of our giving? But the way we got comfortable with it is absolutely geared to folks that are indeed who needed some financial assistance. And we've been so fortunate. Our candidates have been first generation. So Dominican Republic, all over the world, where they come here, and several of them didn't speak English very well, and here they are, doing great, doing great. So that's what we did at Oswego, and then something we're really proud of. And as I said, we just started another one here for the Hilton graduates. So
it's great. Your legacy items, you got for Carrie in the high school, and then you got one for the college. What's some advice that you'd give students walking through those Hilton halls today?
Boy, what would advice? It's a little cliche-ish, but you can really do what you want. You really can. I'm an example. I was a 1080 SAT. Okay, and by the way, when I say 1080, I took the SAT twice. You had to take the higher math and the higher English to get to the 1080. And by the way, if anyone's wondering, that's not very good.
Well, I was a 1030, so
You were not.
Yes, I was, and I worked for it. Keep going. But we know the numbers.
So it was just a matter of finding the right fit. I got very lucky with the college that I went to, people I surrounded myself with, having incredible support, like a great family, great wife, great parents, certainly help you with all of that. But it's really figuring out what you want to do. And it comes at different times for different people. And there's nothing
That's
wrong with
very
that.
good.
Yeah, it comes at different times with different people. I look at some of my best friends, and I will tell you, I want to say, I'm guessing 80% didn't graduate in 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
and all of them are successful.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to figure out what is it that's going to make you happy. Go to that place that's going to make you successful, and do it on your own time. So that's maybe what I'd share.
Very profound. Uh, One more question, and I got some
Yeah.
softball fun ones. Beyond the Hall of Fame, what's your most proud moment?
Most proud moment, boy, I've got several. Um, Probably all do with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest, putting his mind to it. Mike, like my oldest and my youngest both transferred after the first year, and I view both of them as really proud moments. It wasn't easy. They both knew they had to do something different. They both did very well in their freshman year, but they knew it wasn't a good fit. And I just wonder how many kids just, whether it's shut down and stick it out and regret, whereas these both of them decided that it wasn't the right fit and they wanted to go somewhere else and go somewhere different. And boy, both made great decisions. My oldest started at Gettysburg, we went to NYU. Charlie started at Bucknell, and now he's at Geneseo. And boy, they're both thriving. And my daughter, like, super proud. Like, she's an accountant. She's at my firm, doing great. And then it doesn't hurt that my youngest was a state champ in soccer. Like,
Right.
That was fun. What a great season that was. He reminds me too. Dad, you lost 4 games your senior year. I didn't lose any. So I'm like, okay, all right, enough. And my daughter, she was a nice little athlete and played some track and won some Section 5 I guess Section 5 awards, and the Section 5 champ in a couple different events, which was pretty cool to watch. And then just seeing my son now doing exactly what he wants to do as a lawyer in Manhattan, it doesn't get any better.
Have you been able to see him practice at all yet?
No, but my dad and I are trying to figure out how to
Are you going
see
to
him
tell
go.
him, or are you going to surprise him?
Well, I think we're going to have to tell him. But my dad wants to get down there pretty quick. So
Good.
he keeps telling him every time he sees him, when can he come down and see him in the courtroom?
Right.
So, yeah, he's proud of him too.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to go through some favorites with you. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I guess Shawshank. Shawshank
Really?
Redemption. Yeah. Yeah. Great movie.
Is it the voice of Morgan Freeman, or is it just the
I think it's the story. I think it's the acting. Obviously, is incredible. Just a great story.
Hmm?
Great story. Yeah.
television show?
Modern Family. Modern Family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character in the show? That's going to be my follow-up.
Phil Dunphy. Phil Dunphy. He's the man. He's the man. And by the way, my youngest son Charlie and Charlie would watch this. We'd watch all, I think it's 11 seasons, all the episodes. And we just, whenever we'd sit down, we'd just watch another one. And so I bet you he's seen it 4 times.
All the way through?
All the way through. Every single episode. So.
Love it.
Yep.
Good father-son time.
Yep.
Do you read much, and what's your favorite book?
Okay, so, Mike, when I was in high school, I did not like to read. All right, and I'm still not a great reader.
1080. That was
Yeah, that's it. Exactly right. That's where the 1080 comes from. I said back in high school, I'm going to write a book that says how to be successful without reading a book. Then I thought, well, that's not going to sell because you're not going to read the book if like that. Yeah. So it was going to be a DVD on how to be successful without reading a book. Then I finally started to read some books. I just never, Mike, I don't think I could sit still. I'm one of these guys that reads 4 pages, and I have to go back 2 pages and figure out what I just read. My wife will laugh at me. Like, I've been reading this one book, 1929, by Andrew Ross Sorkin, and I think I've been reading it for 6 months now.
Uh-huh.
And I pick it up, I read like 5 pages, and I'm like, ugh, I put it back down.
Can you do books on tape? Would that be easier?
We do that. So when Ginger and I are traveling, wherever it might be, to Connecticut, we'll do a little bit of that. But Now we're into the Dateline podcasts. We love those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put them on,
Is it
hour
with
at a
that
time.
same guy's voice?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, yeah, it's great.
All right.
Yeah, so that's what we do.
You have a favorite food?
It's got to be.
Food?
If I had to eat one, sushi. I think it would
Really?
be. Yeah, sushi.
Did that come into effect when you went to Tokyo?
It sure did.
Okay.
It sure did. I knew I enjoyed it, but I fell in love with it when I was there. Every time I'd come home on the train from work and I'd look up at my apartment, I would call Ginger. I'd say, okay, what's for dinner? She'd say hot dogs. I'm getting sushi. So I'd get sushi down around the corner. I'd come up. They'd eat the hot dogs. I'd eat sushi. So, yeah, it's definitely sushi.
Okay. Do you have a favorite quotation?
Well, it's coincidental. The Shawshank Redemption. Get busy living or get busy dying. And I live by that.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime there's an opportunity to do something, even if I don't want to do it, and it could be something like stupid, like I do it. It's crazy to say this, but I'll say it anyways. So last night, Ginger and my son was in town, his girlfriend, my daughter came into town, and Ginger's like, let's go get ice cream. I got to tell you, Mike, it was probably the last thing I wanted to do. But like that comes to my mind. Like you're going to regret it if you don't go.
Right.
So I go. So get busy living, get busy dying.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
All right, just a couple more questions about the year 1988 when you graduated
Yep.
high school. Do you know who won the Super Bowl that year?
88.
88.
It couldn't have. No, it wasn't the Broncos. 88. What does on a man?
It wasn't
Steel-
the Patriots.
Steelers.
It was the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, never would have.
Who was president?
No. President. I don't know. Who was it?
It was Reagan, but
I was
then
gonna guess
George
Reagan.
H.W. Bush won. Who won the World Series? Now, I know you're a soccer lover.
Yankees.
No, it was the L.A. Dodgers.
All right. Well, I was just guessing Yankees, anyways. Not a bad guess.
Do you know who won the Oscar that year? Or name one of the top 10 movies.
88.
I've never done this quiz before. So.
That's a crazy one. I'm trying to think. Top Gun wasn't out then, was it?
Not yet.
But it must have been close to that, no?
Oscar warning.
Oh, that would know.
Think Cruise, Dustin Hoffman.
Rain Man.
Rain Man.
Yeah, Rain Man. There you go.
Name one of the top 10 TV shows, and a lot of them were on NBC, I'll tell you that much.
So if it's NBC, I'm guessing Cheers.
Yep. That was number 4.
Couldn't have been Friends. Was Friends out there?
Not yet.
Nah, it wasn't out yet. So Cheers. But when you start asking questions like this, you start like confusing generations. Like there's no Cheers. Oh, the Huxtables. There you go.
Cosby Show.
Cosby Show. That's
and
a
then yeah, 60 Minutes, of course, is up there.
Oh yeah, good one. That's a good one.
Betty White.
Oh yeah. Oh, not Golden Girls.
Golden Girls.
No way.
That was at like number 6. Number
Okay.
6.
Yeah.
Can you tell I'm into Chat GBT now?
There you go.
Summertime.
I was going to say I need it going right now.
All right, and then last question.
Yeah.
Of the top 5 musical artists, see if you can come up with one.
From 88?
88. Yep.
88. So
And this was based on like chart points.
chart.
Just
88. Bon Jovi.
no.
Stop it.
No.
I'm trying to
I mean,
think about.
just think of who was big during our.
Well, we had the
just during that decade. I mean, like,
U2.
nope.
Joshua Tree was out by 88, wasn't it?
I don't know.
It had to have been.
I'm looking at one name that I can't believe you don't get this name.
Well, it's like Guns N' Roses.
Thriller.
Michael Jackson.
Michael
There you go.
Jackson.
There you
And then
go.
this
That's
one, the number
embarrassing.
1, Wham.
Well,
George
that
Michael.
never I wouldn't.
I know.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
have
know.
got that.
What was your favorite? That should have been a question. What was your favorite musical group?
Back then, Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
Yeah. Then it probably migrated into like Guns N' Roses. Yeah.
And what genre do you
And
like
U2.
now?
I'm
U2?
all over the place, but I'd still say probably in that sort of genre. I saw some great concerts. Like we saw Ginger and I saw U2 in Saitama, Japan. Incredible.
Yeah.
That was incredible. I saw Guns N' Roses 5 years ago in Tokyo when he lost his voice.
Yeah.
That was not so spectacular. I don't know if you've ever seen his
No, he did it mid-concert?
No, but remember when he fronted for AC/DC for like a year?
Axl Rose.
Axl Rose did. It fried his voice. And I saw him in Pittsburgh in like 2017 or 18. It was incredible. Then I saw him it must have been 2020 in Japan. Couldn't sing anymore.
Really?
Oh, there's funny like reels right now of him trying to sing.
Don't you have to look him up? When you moved to Pittsburgh, did you become a Steelers fan?
I was always a Steelers fan.
Okay.
So yeah, growing up, you remember how it was in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
You had like 3 channels, only 2 played football, and it was either the Jets, the Giants, and then the Bills a little bit. And then because the Steelers and Cowboys were good, those 2 were beyond. And so probably front run a little bit, right? Because the 70s were Steelers. So I was front running.
One for the thumb in 81. I remember that was the thing.
That was the thing.
Oh, Jack Lambert, Terry Bradshaw.
Jack, Ham, Lambert, Franco, Blyer, all those guys. They were great. Mel Blount. Yeah.
Well, Jeff, thank you for joining me.
You got it.
This episode of the Big H Podcast. Viewers, if you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications so you don't miss an episode. You can follow me on YouTube, X, Apple, or Spotify, even Facebook and Rumble, or wherever you get your podcasts at the Big H Podcast. Jeff, congratulations on your times at Hilton High School.
Love it.
And on being a new inductee into the Hilton Alumni.
Well, I appreciate it, Mike. This is fantastic. You got a great thing going here, and I appreciate the time.
One. Right. You take care.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
The Big H Podcast, tune in now. Conversations that'll wow. Laugh and learn, stay a while. Let's explore that Hilton style. From the highs to the lows, every story just explodes. Mike's got questions on the go, diving deep from head to toe. Every week the guests align, sharing moments so divine. Stay with us, the pace is fine. Every episode you'll find